So, talking more about Harry Potter, and it's very strange. I don't know how God works, I don't know how the divine blueprint works, but I feel like our generation was given Harry Potter, the series, as a means of understanding the things that are happening right now in the world. And it's possible, I mean, like, this is a sort of thing that is cyclical as well as fractal. Harry Potter is a Christ archetype. So this is something that it does happen again and again throughout human history, but at the same time, it's just a little bit uncanny. So, the Order of the Phoenix in the fifth book, Harry is persecuted by the media, by the government, the Ministry of Magic. Many of his friends turn on him. They don't believe. And the reason they turn on him is because of fear, because they're afraid. For one thing, to say the word Voldemort, which I think I mentioned in the first video, Voldemort means death wish. And Harry's not afraid, and that's why everyone turns on him. But there is something really uncanny about that we were given this gigantic truth bomb in the form of the Harry Potter series. And somebody on my first video about the Sorcerer's Stone, the Philosopher's Stone, wrote this comment, and this comment is the reason I make videos, like comments like this. They wrote, Symphysis wrote, really excellent analysis. Alchemy in Harry Potter is treated like an interesting but ultimately irrelevant footnote. It's not. It's all about alchemy, right? No one talks about what it means for humanity and what's going on right now. So this guy, assuming it's a guy, this guy got it. This guy gets it, exactly. He says, Harry Potter is about this spiritual war that's been going on inside the mystery school for thousands of years. Hogwarts is the mystery school to end all mystery schools, an alchemical university for the soul, the College of the 6 Days' Work, the Grail Castle, Notre Dame, Solomon's Temple, etc. Harry has to restore it to its dignity and glory. It's been split and sundered, and its sacred knowledge has been put to explicitly unsacred ends. Sound familiar? Crow 777 always describes what's going on right now as the misuse of alchemy. Harry has to put it back together again by purging it of Voldemort's presence, who puts himself into the Founder's relics, and expelling him from the school. Jung said that the task of alchemy was to root out the original sin, to heal the wound caused by the serpent. So Harry undergoes this 7-stage purification of his soul, and by expelling Voldemort from himself internally, the external world follows. And that's something I was thinking about the day they wrote this comment, was that in order to purge evil from the world around you, you have to purge it from inside of yourself. And the serpent of Salazar Slytherin represents original sin. So just as the serpent introduced original sin in the creation of mankind, Salazar Slytherin introduced this original sin into the foundation of Hogwarts. It's one of the reasons Hogwarts is so important in the books, and there's the Battle of Hogwarts at the end. Castles represent the summation of human knowledge. And in the second book, which I'll cover as soon as I can, in the second book, Voldemort and the legacy of Salazar Slytherin is literally inside of the walls of the castle. So the snake represents original sin. And the snake is also, it's a lowered form of life. The same with like Peter Pettigrew as a rat. It's a lowered form of life. It's the survival brain. It refuses its humanity in terms, or in favor of being in that sneaky, lying survival brain. Also, the reason why the dark mark is a human skull with a snake coming out of the mouth is that represents lying. Satan is the father of lies. So it's super, super deep, super symbolic. Everything in these books is so purposeful that it really it's mind blowing, and it's a little uncanny. In the Order of the Phoenixes, of course, are a symbol of Christ. They die and they're reborn from the ashes. I do think that Hogwarts, I mentioned in the previous video, Harry has 3 proxy fathers. Each of them are named for a stage in alchemy. Sirius Black, represents death, black. Rubeus Hagrid, Rubeus means red. Albus Dumbledore, Albus means white. Those are all stages of alchemy, and what they really are is they're kind of like psychological stages of man. Um, the red is the passionate wild man. Which, by the way, the reason why Hagrid carries Harry as a baby and in that last book when he believes Harry to be dead is because the weight of the sacrifice of Christ will always fall on the common man. That's why Rubeus Hagrid, the red, is the one that carries Harry, because Harry is the Christ archetype. And it's actually not blasphemous. I know like some people might think it is. It's really not. It's these books are so great because they give you everyday character examples of what evil looks like and what good looks like. And so they're beyond valuable in terms of teaching human dynamics. They're really incredible. But Harry has to purge the original sin from himself as well as from Hogwarts. And it's that fear, it's that survival brain. Fear is the mind killer that keeps people from understanding what Harry's about. They're afraid to say Lord Voldemort's name. In a sense, they're afraid to face the reality of Lord Voldemort. So anyway, I was saying, I think that Harry does have a proxy mother in the book, and I think that it's Hogwarts itself. So I know somebody said to me, that Harry's a boring character, and I can kind of see what they're saying, but I do think that's on purpose because you as the reader are supposed to insert yourself into Harry's shoes. And again, I mean, if you want to compare it to Christianity, true Christianity isn't worship of Jesus Christ. Not exactly. True Christianity is following in the footsteps of Jesus Christ. That's why they want you to insert yourself into Harry's character, so that you can understand his sacrifice and the way that he's being slandered. So, the books and the movies are very different things. The books are better books than the movies are movies. Movies are about special effects. There is something to the idea that, evil always has to tell you what it's doing. And I feel like they have to give you the way out. They have to. I said that about throwing copper, always. It's like a James Bond villain giving up the scheme. They always do it. It's like a metaphysical law of the universe. And I do wonder if that's part of the reason why they made the Harry Potter movies so quickly, so that they could get them into the public consciousness so quickly. The 7th book hadn't even come out by the time they started making these movies, Harry Potter, all the spells in Harry Potter are in Latin. And, Latin is a very powerful mystical language. There's also truth to the fact that the names of the characters reveal who they are. Whoever wrote Harry Potter, maybe it was J.K. Rowling, whoever wrote it knew about twilight language. So twilight language it's language that is meant to describe not only the phenomenon, but also the consciousness of the person using the words, which is very strange. I would like to do a whole video on twilight language, but basically twilight language is any time that you hear something that sounds the way it is. So, Remus Lupin is a werewolf in Harry Potter. That's a really obvious one. In real life, Bruce Jenner changed his gender. Bernie Madoff made off with your money. All these different. Owen gives lots of examples of them. But there's something real to twilight language, and that's what I mean about like the power of words. Something I missed when I was talking about the pensieve. So it's true that the pensieve is similar to a bowl of water, but and because water does symbolize the subconscious, but it's more than that, because when people put their memories in the pensieve, they grab their wand, a symbol of agency, they grab their wand and they pull out a silvery white snake-looking thing, which is Mercury. Mercury is the symbol of the mind. That's why the thoughts are Mercury, and it's like a bowl of Mercury. Of course, Mercury is very relevant in alchemy. Another thing that I find interesting about Harry Potter, but I'm not sure really what to do with this, is that the name Harry Potter itself has a double consonant in the middle of the first and the last name, right? Harry has double R, Potter has double T. And it kind of reminds me of the whole twin pillars motif, but I don't really know what that is, and I don't know if it's just easier to kind of insert yourself into that character. Oh, and in the first book, Petunia Dursley describes Harry as a nasty common name. And you know, Harry is, that's the idea of it, is that it is a common name. And he is, it's the gratitude he feels in the first book that makes him that alchemical master. So, I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. There's a lot of gravy in Harry Potter 2, The Chamber of Secrets. So I am looking forward to making that video. Uh, till next time.